All right, welcome everyone to a bit of an emergency broadcast. I'm Alexander, CEO and founder at Mithril. I'm joined by my CTO and co-founder Toma. We're going to go over the security incident that happened yesterday on the 20th of January. We're going to walk through the full chain of events, including a timeline of the events that happened. We're going to go over what we're encouraging users to do and what action we're taking internally as a result of this security incident. So an overview, on January 20th, 2026, we identified fraudulent activity that was impacting Paradex accounts belonging to users who had previously connected their API credentials to Mithril. Following immediate investigation, we confirmed a critical security failure on Mithril's side that resulted in the full exposure of all Exchange API credentials stored in our database. This was not an Exchange issue. This was not a user error. This was a failure on Mithril's credentials handling architecture. This was a Mithril problem. All users who had created API credentials on Mithril must assume those credentials were compromised, and we therefore encourage all users to delete their API credentials that they connected to Mithril on the exchanges. We have already deleted the API credentials from Mithril's database, but it's good if you delete them on the exchanges that you had connected to Mithril. Who was impacted? Only users who created API credentials on Mithril were impacted. No users who never connected an exchange to Mithril was affected. The issue impacted users who were connected to Mithril to the following exchanges via API credentials. So it was Paradex, Extended, Pacifica, Hibachi. The exchanges themselves were not breached. I want to reiterate on this. The exchanges themselves were not breached or impacted. The exposure occurred entirely within Mithril's system. This was a failure in how we store and manage API credentials within the Mithril database. To walk through everybody exactly what happened. During monitoring, we detected unauthentic XP transfers on Paradex accounts connected to Mithril. We were fortunate enough to detect this as the hack was happening. So we immediately escalated this issue with Paradex and launched a full internal investigation. The investigation revealed that our database containing the Exchange API credentials were accessible through a critical flaw in the Mithril authentication and credential encryption design. The technical explanation, a bit simplified, is that Mithril allowed users to authenticate using their wallet address. Due to this design flaw, knowledge of a user's public wallet address was enough to obtain an authenticated session. Once authenticated, an attacker could access database records associated with that user, download the encrypted Exchange API credentials stored by Mithril, decrypt those credentials because the encryption key was derived from the user's wallet address, which was public by nature. This combination allowed an attacker to programmatically access the credentials in the database, extract encrypted API keys, decrypt them without needing any private wallet keys, to use those credentials directly against Exchange APIs. This resulted in full exposure of all API credentials stored in Mithril. It's confirmed fraudulent activity. So the fraudulent activity was confirmed on Paradex account, resulting in full draining of users' XP balance. The exact timeline for the reimbursement, we're going to communicate a bit later. So we will personally, if it needs to reimburse all of the XP points lost, So we will buy them back if needed on OTC and reimburse all of the users so that no XP is lost to one user. No fraudulent activity was observed on extended, Pacifica, or Hibachi accounts at the time of the investigation. Absence of observed activity does not mean that those credentials were safe. So we do recommend people to be safe rather than sorry. So all credentials must be treated as compromised. So even though we did not observe any fraudulent activity on extended, Pacifica, or Hibachi, please do delete those API credentials as well to be safe. The timeline of events, as a quick overview, at 1700 UTC time, we noticed an unauthorized XP transfer detected on Paradex accounts linked to Mithril. At 1701, the Paradex team was contacted immediately. At 1743, Paradex confirmed the issue was isolated to Mithril connected users. At 1755, Paradex immediately stopped XP transfers. At 1809, a full audit of user XP balances confirmed all Mithril Paradex users were impacted. At 1811, we instructed community to delete API credentials on Paradex. At 1837, community was instructed to delete API credentials on all exchanges. At 1857, the entire database of API credentials on Mithril side was deleted, plus all bots turned off from 1903 to 1954. All partners exchanges contacted to request direct credential deletion. At 2015, extended deleted affected API credentials and notified their users publicly. So what was affected? Credential exposure. 100% of API credentials stored in Mithril were exposed or are assumed to be exposed. So please, this is why we encourage people to still delete their API credentials on any of the associated dexes mentioned. This includes credentials for all supported exchanges. Exposure duration may extend back to the first stored credentials. So it doesn't matter if you created your API credentials weeks ago or months ago, or if you did it yesterday, please delete them altogether. Exchange-specific impact. So if you had a Paradex account connected to Mithril, then you most likely have lost XP. We, the team, will fully reimburse any XP lost on Paradex. On Paradex, the API does not allow asset withdrawals. Fraudulent XP transferred occurred. User XP balance were drained to the extent that they can be drained. On extended, API does not allow withdrawals. No fraudulent activity observed. On Pacifica, API credentials do not allow withdrawals. No fraudulent activity observed. On Hibachi, API can allow withdrawals if the user has explicitly enabled this option. In all of our how-to videos on how to showing how to onboard to Hibachi and how to set up the API credentials, we show people how to not enable this option. But so please, if you're on Hibachi, delete API credentials. If you're on any DEX, delete the API credentials, because on Hibachi, the user can explicitly enable the option that APIs can allow withdrawals. We've encouraged people to never have this option ticked. So if you have that option ticked, this is we highly recommend you to delete the API credentials as soon as possible. Mithril cannot determine which users enabled this withdrawal permission. So only you, the user, knows this yourself. As a result, some Hibachi account may have been exposed to withdrawal risks. So once again, this is why we highlight, please delete all your API credentials. No confirmed withdrawals have been observed at the time of this investigation. Immediate action taken. We took strong possible containment action as soon as the issue was confirmed. We deleted the entire API credential database on our end. We stopped all automated trading bots, blocked the Mithril platform to prevent new credentials from being added. We coordinated directly with the exchange security teams, instructed all users to revoke API credentials immediately, began a full security and architecture audit. These actions ensure the exposed credentials can no longer be used through Mithril. What you should do now, if you previously connected Mithril to any exchange, delete all API credentials associated with Mithril on every exchange. Review your exchange account activity carefully. Contact the exchange directly if you see any authorized activity within the last 24 hours. We will continue to communicate clearly as the investigation progresses. But those are actions that we would encourage every user to do right now if you haven't already done it. Responsibility and transparency. This incident was caused by a critical failure in Mithril's internal security design. We do not attribute responsibility to any exchanges or users. We take full responsibility for the exposure and for correcting the system before any future operation. The ongoing work includes full forensic review of access logs, complete redesign of the authentication and credential storage on Mithril side, security hardening across all services, external review of the new architecture. We will share future update as soon as we can do so responsibly. We want to thank all of you. So we want to express a very large thank you to the exchange teams who reacted exceptionally quick with incredible professionalism to protect users. So a huge thanks to the teams at Paradex, at Extended, at Pacifica, and at Hibachi. Their swiftness to take action, their coordination, and their professionalism helped tremendously. The rapid response significantly reduced the potential impact of this incident. And we also want to thank users who helped to spread this communication through our community and through other communities. It was a great effort by all of you. Thank you so much. So that is currently the full incident report on our end. We will keep everybody updated as we make progress on this. And now I will pass over the mic to Thomas, who will go more into detail on what infra upgrades we're going to do across the board to mitigate the risk of anything like this happening in the future, and how we intend to move forward with the product. Thank you very much. And Thomas, over to you.
Yes, thanks, Alex. So as Alex said, it's entirely something that was on us. And as we speak, we are already implementing a comprehensive security infrastructure update to provide the best protection for any trading credential. We are upgrading three main infra. So the first one is the server-side encryption. Before the credential were encrypted on the user's browser before being stored. The new infra, the new updates we will push will have credential encryption happening on our server, secure server, using AES 256 GCM method, which is the same standard that is used by the banks and the government agencies. Each credential will receive a unique cryptographic salt, ensuring that even if identical keys produce ensuring that the same key will produce a different encrypted output. The second infra that will update is wallet signature authentication. Before we had a session authentication that was tied to the wallet connection status. That was not enough. Now we will have every authentication that will require to sign a unique time-limited challenge message with your wallet, which is a this will cryptographically prove that you own the wallet without having the need of passwords or secrets being transmitted. So how this works is like you connect your wallet, Mithril generates a one-time challenge, which is valid for 5 minutes. Then you will sign this challenge with your wallet. Mithril will verify that the signature matches your wallet address, and then we establish the session. And the third part, which is directly linked to the database access control. Before we had standard row-level security policies, which were not strong enough. Now we will have a multi-layered access restriction that will include explicit deny policies for users that are not authenticated. We will force row-level security to apply even for the administrator of the project, and we will ensure user isolation that only you can access your own credential. So we are already working on this, and we won't relaunch when we have 100% certainty that everything is up to the standard. Because we believe security is not a feature, it's a foundation. We want to be way better in that right now. And this infrastructure upgrade will represent our commitment right now to protecting your assets and building a platform that you can trust.
We will have Alpha Friday as normal on Friday at 1 p.m. UTC time, where we will also, of course, do FAQ with community and etc. So we will revisit this topic. We will keep everybody informed in the loop as we push out these security upgrades. And we will do extensive testing ourselves and together with other third parties as well. And we will be very transparent and share the progress and documentation throughout that process. Currently, our ETA to relaunch or resume trading, we're adding a bit of a safety buffer so that we have more time to do testing and make sure that everything is working properly. But as of current planning, we are aiming to resume trading activity on Friday, the 23rd of January, so in roughly 2 days. We want to iterate again that this was not anything that happened due to the exchanges. This was a critical failure in Mithril's own database and how we manage data. We take full responsibility. We're extraordinarily grateful for the teams over at Paradex, Extended, Pacifica, and Hibachi. They helped us with very swift coordination and by freezing transactions and really assisting as this hack was underway. And they're helping us a lot now after the hack as well. So huge thanks to all of the teams at the exchanges, as well as our own users who helped to share this communication as we pushed it out to our own community. We will keep everyone in the loop as this situation progresses, but hopefully you've now received the full incident report and the technical breakdown of what happened, as well as what is being done to mitigate this risk from happening again. And we will have the Alpha Friday Town Hall as usual, 1 p.m. UTC on Friday, the 23rd of January, where we will discuss this topic a bit more. And we will also invite questions from the community for a bit more of a discussion around this. But we wanted to put this together to get this information out to you as soon as possible. And we will keep you in the loop on the progress. Thank you from us. Thomas, if you have any last words to say.
No, I think, we want to be fully transparent, and we will keep communicating as soon as we have more information. If you follow us on Twitter and on Telegram, you will have access to everything as early as we have.
Yeah. As of now, no user funds seems to have been compromised. The one thing that seems to have been compromised is Paradex XP, and we will, in a worst case, buy Paradex XP points on OTC and reimburse everyone that has been affected. So You, the user, should ideally, except for you haven't been able to use Mithril for the last 12 hours, and it's going to be roughly 72 hours in total. So besides from the lack of access to Mithril, hopefully you, the users, should be completely untouched by this event. We do understand that your trust in Mithril might have taken a beating, and we're doing everything that we can to learn from this situation and grow from it to make sure that we even become a leader in how we build security for services like the one that Mithril provide. That is our utmost priority as of this moment. Thank you, everyone, and all the best.